happy moment to you. So, today, at some point, we'll stop mentioning the fact that I'm still in the bed. But I like the green now. Suddenly I'm thinking maybe the green is the thing. But, anyway, today, remember, we're looking for, it is just Tuesday, things that are reinforcing, that are focused on the dance between the other side of the veil and our side, and how the other side, whatever we call it, spirit, God, the universe, spirit guides, people that we know that are on the other side, all the different names, how they're interacting, how that energy is interacting all the time. Like it doesn't really sleep, right? There's no heed to sleep on the other side. So yesterday the idea was sort of this, how things can shift around us. The universe can actually, shift things. The energies can shift things. They work real hard and they shift things, literally. Then today, the example was so clear, was about this concept of how they can plant seeds for us to make movement. So I have a sweet friend that I haven't seen for years, kind of grew up with, and had found out that he was having some medical stuff going on, and so found his phone number and called him, and he was talking about the different things that he was doing and different surgery he'd had and different things, doctor's appointments he had. And so I, of course, if anyone knows me, would shift sort of the conversation to this kind of, do you believe in any kind of ooey stuff medically, or mind, or, healing with, sound healing or frequency healing or meditation, or your mind, any of that kind of thing of interest, or, understanding anything about that? Is that of interest to you? And he immediately said, wow, I used to have this app called Calm, and I loved it. And he goes, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. And I said, oh, wow. I said, why don't you have it now? And he was like, well, I just, how things go. I think I didn't renew it, and then it just stopped. But it keeps coming to my mind. This is him talking. It just keeps coming to my mind. And I said, wow, that's so cool. I said, you understand that is like spirit with like a red flashing light. And he's like, what, when I say these things, just like, the sky is blue, it takes a little while to understand what I'm really trying to say is that literally, I'm not talking metaphorically, or wouldn't it be interesting if God was talking to you, or I'm saying literally the light is flashing. And then it occurred to me when I thought about talking about this tonight that in my head, trauma survivor head, there's a lot of voices. Some have been louder over the years than others, and certainly before I did my trauma work, and while I was doing my trauma work, I had a very self-destructive, very angry, self-harm. You couldn't have been more suicidal or hurting yourself physically more than I did. And so that voice, right, that's clearly a voice that I hear and that I heard and I still hear sometimes. That's not spirit's voice. And then you've got, fear. And then you got ego. At least I do. So I have a whole cast of characters. So I have to, over the years, learn discernment, right? Through that thing I think they do on the Calm app, that meditation. They call it meditation or something. But, sitting with myself, becoming aware, using my ability to be conscious to kind of third eye look at my thoughts and sort of figure out patterns. So the patterns for spirit for me are very clear. I can figure it out pretty quickly and pretty clearly. But that's after years of kind of discernment. So the first kind of process of, oh my gosh, I'm getting a voice or a message or an idea. Let me think about how is it coming across. And exactly as it came across to him, he had this feeling of, oh, I liked that. Oh, that was good for me in the past. Or, oh, I think this would help me, kind of feeling. And repetitive, ever so slightly, ever so repetitive. And then my phone call, right? Again, another kind of nudge into, hey, look at this. Hey, consider this. And so again, all of that is not random. None of that is coincidental or just something to think about and throw away. It is meant to get your attention, meant to get my attention. and to get me into action, I actually said, well, would you like me to hold on while you go ahead, I don't know, upload that app and do whatever we have to do? Oh, and then he said, this was great. He said, oh my God, because last week I noticed on my phone or something that I got a little 50% off. And he said, I really thought then, oh, well, I should go ahead and do it. It's 50% off. Why don't I just go ahead and do it? And I thought, and I said this to him. I said, Spirit is so great, isn't it? I said, it never gets discouraged. It never gets tired. It never gives up on us. It never says, well, I suggested it 4,872 times. And they said no each time, so I'm giving up. And I'm not going to suggest it again. Spirit just like every day. Okay, let's do this again. Let's figure it out. It does take a certain amount of energy on the other side to kind of push through these things and to give us this ideas. So it would be, if we could listen sooner than later, I'm sure they would appreciate that. But they never stop. They never stop. And we never wear them out. We never wear out our welcome. And we never are lost to the idea of having one more opportunity. So I guess I'll have to text him in a week or so and see if he got the Calm app and continue on. But so look at that. So it is just Tuesday. So those sort of repetitive things that are good for me, those thoughts, those ideas, those oh gosh, I think that feels right. Why I keep thinking about it. It feels right. Go ahead, take that action. Go ahead, do that now. I'll put the phone down. Come back. Do it. So I love that. It is just Tuesday, and it will be just Tuesday again tomorrow. So love you. Happy moment. Maybe I'll get some 2 glasses before tomorrow. Love you.